My name is Jerry.
Santosh.
G.
And today we're going to talk to you a bit about how Twitter, social media presence has an effect on a movie. To talk to you first a bit about how we got this data, we use Cloudera Hadoop and the Twitter API to perform a data mine of Twitter's server to gather information about a movie's Twitter popularity. We focused exclusively on the top 10 most popular movies by gross due to limitations in the program's capabilities, but we would like to draw some preliminary conclusions. To start, we're going to talk a little bit about how the different platforms are used for different movies. So you can see for Titanic, for example, which came out in the late 90s, it has a very high Twitter score, but a low Facebook score. We can also see more recently, Jungle Book, for example, has a high Twitter score and somewhere average Facebook score. So as we can see from this, different movies perform well on different platforms. Depending on what kind of movie you have, you may want to focus on one platform over the other. To back this up, we then looked at how different social media platforms have an effect on a movie's gross sales. Interestingly, we can see these successful movies tended to perform very well on one platform, but not the other. Very few performed well on both. Take a look at the highest grossing movie, Avengers. It has a very high Facebook score, but a low Twitter score. From this, we can see it's important to focus the social media campaign on one or the other platform, but spending might not need to be duplicated across both. Next, we wanted to see how social media popularity has an effect on the people inside the movie, the actors, and the rest of the cast. Interestingly, we can see whether a movie is popular on Twitter or Facebook. There's not a strong correlation between that and the actors or the people's inside of the movie's popularity. For movies that have an all-star cast list, such as Alice in Wonderland, it performed not that well on social media with a pretty low Facebook score and Twitter score. To further look inside this insight about movie social media popularity and the actors and directors, I'm going to pass it over to Santosh.
Thanks, Jerry. So, like as you said, like you don't have to invest in two different social media. One of the prime example is like how the actor influenced that movie thing. For example, the actor Johnny Depp is very popular in Facebook, but his movie is not very popular in Twitter. Whereas Scarlett Johansson has very few likes in Facebook, but her movies are very popular on Twitter. So it does not have a significant correlation. One person can be very popular on one social media doesn't mean like this movie is going to generate more popularity in other media. And similarly, we're going to also check about the critical score with the social media thing. For example, Jungle Book, which released very recently, has got about 350 million, but the Twitter score is way too high. But whereas the Avatar has about 750 million as a gross, but the Twitter score is very low. So the Twitter score does not signify how good the movie is going to perform in the industry. So now we're going to talk. G is going to continue.
Thank you, Santosh. Now I'm going to talk about the influence of directors' popularity on a movie's growth. If you look at the graphs at the bottom, you can find Tim Burton's movie have a relatively higher Facebook likes, but comparing to a relatively low Twitter scores, we can see there's no clear tendency between Facebook's likes and their Twitter scores. But if you look at the graphs upside, you can find that a movie with a higher Twitter scores usually comes to an above average growth. So that's all the things we found. We hope that you might find it interesting. So that's our conclusions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.